Welcome to Life Unscripted, Adulting Uncovered, the podcast for anyone out here doing their best to grow, heal, and not totally lose it in the process. I'm your host, Brennan, and if you ever felt like the only adult still figuring it out, don't worry, you're not alone. This is the place for you. Let's stop pretending and start talking. Guys, welcome back to another episode of Life Unscripted, Adulting Uncovered. I am Brennan, and yes, I am still the host on this podcast. Have you ever thought about your friendships and how they come and go? If I sit back and I think about how many friends I've had over the years, I literally would lose count. Most of my friendships, when they end, it's never because of bad blood or problems. It's just because we grow apart, or I move, or they get a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or whatever happens, or circumstances change in some way, but it's not like there's this big blowout. And friendships changing can feel confusing, and it can sometimes be painful. And if we're being honest, it can feel personal at times. Because, one day you're close, you're texting all the time, you're having phone calls, you're laughing, you're sharing everything, you're going places, and then the other day, it just seems different. And maybe the phone calls and the texts slow down, and the effort may feel uneven, like you're the one doing all the chasing, and it's like the priorities just don't line up the way that they used to. And what makes this even harder is no one really teaches us how to grieve friendships that don't end. They just kind of quietly disappear and they dissolve. And there's no breakup conversation. There's no clean ending. The distance, it just kind of slows and it grows. So today I want to talk about why friendships change, why it hurts the way it does, and how to handle this without bitterness, self-blame, or forcing something that's really already shifting. We don't stay the same people. Our schedule change, our responsibilities change, our values change, our mindset will change, our nervous system will mature and adopt, at least I hope we do. And sometimes our emotional capacity changes. Some friendships are built for specific seasons. There's that saying that relationships are in your life for a season or a reason. And I think there's definitely some truth to that. And there are friendships that exist for these temporary periods, like maybe it's proximity. Maybe you live next to that person and so they were friends, or maybe you sat at the desk next to that person in school or at work, or maybe it was a growth season where you guys were both focused on a specific topic or something that you were really trying to grow in, and so you became friends. And now that you've surpassed that, you don't have that connection. And sometimes there's convenience reasons or survival reasons. And not every friendship is meant to walk with you through every single part of your life. And that doesn't mean the friendship failed. It just means that it's done what it's supposed to do. And having that peace and that clarity to let go of it at that time is really a huge growth. It's a huge stepping stone. It's a huge place to be. See, when friendships change, our brain usually goes straight to one question. Well, what did I do wrong? Did I do something? And it makes sense because friendship loss, it doesn't come with the same social permissions as like a romantic breakup. There's no book for it. There's no closure conversation. It's not like you sit there and say, hey, listen, we're just not aligned anymore. At least not all the time. I'm sure that those conversations exist, but I don't have them. I mean, when friendships end, they just end, because I think many people don't want to sit there and have a tough conversation if they don't have to. And so there's no book for this. There's no closure conversation. And the mind starts to fill in this gap. And most of the time, it tends to go into a self-blame direction. But that distance, it doesn't automatically mean rejection. It just means that there's something different. Maybe it's different rhythms. Maybe it's different needs, or it's different emotional capacity. Or at the end of the day, it is different directions. And different tends to have a negative connotation, like the word change. But different doesn't mean negative. None of those things mean you're unlovable or you're anything less. The biggest mistake is trying to force a friendship back into the old version of itself instead of meeting it where it is now. Maybe you keep reaching and you keep over-explaining and you keep minimizing your needs just to keep this connection alive because it's making you feel some kind of way. But that doesn't create closeness. It really creates separation and resentment. And relationships, including friendships, need mutual effort, not chasing. So outgrowing people doesn't mean you're disloyal. It just means you're evolving. And some friendships were built around who you were when you were healing, people-pleasing, surviving, unsure of yourself, nervous, anxious, lost, whatever the case may be. When you change, that dynamic changes too. And you can no longer meet these people where you used to be because you're not there anymore. And that doesn't make you cold, but it makes you honest. And so not every friendship is meant to last forever. Some are meant to shape you, some are meant to support you, and some are meant to reflect who you were, but not who you're becoming. And letting go with grace is a form of emotional maturity. If a friendship is changing, it doesn't mean you're losing. It means you're learning how to love without control, appreciate without possession, and move forward without bitterness. And guess what? That's growth. That's growth whether you realize it or not. And so here's your reminder. Not everyone who walks with you is meant to walk with you forever. And that doesn't mean your journey is any less real or any less yours. You're allowed to grow, and you're allowed to let things change, and you're allowed to outgrow people. So guys, all in there, my name is Brennan. This is Life Unscripted, Adulting Uncovered. If this reminded you of a friendship you need to let go, give it a like, share, comment, share it with someone who needs to hear it. And remember, life is so much better when we stop pretending and we start talking. I will catch you next time. Take care.